The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome to this morning's Marketing Clinic with your host, Craig Proctor.
Well, thank you very much. Apologize for the tardy start. Andrea and I we're sitting here just talking away in the what do you call it, the private chat room here. And I said to Andrea, look what time it is, we better get started. So Andrea, you have picked out a wide selection of ads that we're going to look at today.
Yes, we have 20 ads, all different kinds, and I'm really excited about it.
Yes, and so we weren't just, idly chatting. We were talking about these ads, and some of you have sent in some information with your ad, and you'll see that on ad number 1. So we'll get right into it. Now, give us the Reader's Digest, Andrea, on ad number 1. What is our member saying here?
Well, he has a lot of questions about this. This is Andy's ad. And the first thing I notice, he's saying he's getting clicks but no conversions. Another thing is he's have some questions about how does he get his ad to work and go to his website. He's getting a lot of bogus entries and submissions. One of my questions was that I didn't see here is if he's using Bold Leads or his Success website or if he's doing it himself. So Andy, if you're on the call, just a little bit of information in the chat box, or maybe we could speak with him live about this could help.
Okay, so if you're there, it says Andy is a girl.
Oh.
Did you know
I'm
that?
Sorry. Well, you know,
it's A-N-D-I-E.
I'm Andrea, and for a long time people tried to get me to shorten it to Andy, but it never caught. So I apologize, Andy.
So Andy, let's if you have a mic, a computer mic, or you're on your telephone, let's see if we can get you connected here.
Okay, hold on just one second. Let me find your line, Andy. Okay, you're open.
Okay, can you hear me?
Hi, Andy and Andrea.
Hi.
Andy, ask us these questions here so we don't have to read all this. Tell us what's on your mind.
Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't realize all those questions were going to get posted.
No worries.
Okay, so the first one is the Facebook ad that I did just before the seminar. I think this one was just before the seminar. 79 clicks on Facebook, but there was no conversions on it. So
what landing page are you going to?
I posted the link right there in question number 1, but it's for the VIP buyer.
Okay, now Andrea, are we able to go to Andy's landing page? Because it sounds like what Andy's saying is she's getting lots of people seeing the ad, clicking on the ad, but when they go to the landing page isn't doing its job. It's not converting. So I think the problem's not the ad. Clearly, you had 79 people click on the ad. The problem we've got here is the landing page not doing its job. So are we able to pull that up and have a look at it? I hear silence. I'm assuming.
Oh,
Andrea, there she is. Okay.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry. I keep on pushing the wrong button. I have a new headset. I apologize. It should be popping up on your screen right now.
Yep, we've got it. Okay. So it says, beat out other buyers to hot new listings in Temecula Valley. Receive priority access to new listings that match your home buying criteria in Temecula, Marietta, Manistee, blah, 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 surrounding areas. Customize your buying criteria. Well, let's have a look at the ad again. Okay, Temecula Valley, home listings, including bank foreclosures, company-owned properties, and other distress sales. Now, Andy, what if we took that headline there and it said exactly the same thing on the landing page?
Oh, I see. Okay.
You see how the confused mind does nothing, right?
Right.
It doesn't say exactly the same thing. I don't see any reference to foreclosure properties there, do you? Now, if we flip back to the ad, Andrea, it's a pretty compelling headline, Andy, that you've got on your ad, and I can see why you had 79 clicks. It says Temecula Valley home listings, including bank foreclosures, company-owned properties, and other distress sales. However, if I'm a prospect and I click on that, we go to the landing page now, and there's no reference to bank foreclosures, company-owned properties, or other distress sales.
Okay.
So I think we've got a disconnect. So, and that's this is what we call matching our message, right? Our message on the landing page should be, pretty much the same as the message in the ad, because otherwise we confuse people. It tells me that the message in the ad worked quite well.
Okay.
All right. So what's this page that you pulled up here, Andrea? You're clicking on the distress sale page, right?
Yes.
Okay. So look, you have a page that would work. You see that, Andy?
Right.
All right. So what Andrea did is she went up to buyers there to show everybody, Andrea, what you did. She went to buyers, and she clicked on your foreclosure, your right there, foreclosure hot list. So this would have been a more appropriate landing page to go to.
Right.
So I bet you if you ran that same ad, and this time you go to this landing page, it's going to work better. But that's the nice thing about my type of marketing is at least we know this, right? Like we actually, there's a logic, there's science to us being able to do an autopsy and find out why something isn't working.
Right.
Right? When we get a lot of clicks or a lot of response to the ad, it could even be, 80 people calling your hotline and no one leaving a message. Well, then we would know the hotline script's the problem. So every part of this has its job. The part that's working is the ad. The part that's not working is the landing page. But, if one of those two parts doesn't work, you don't generate any leads. Is that helpful?
Right. Yes, it is. Thank you.
Great. Any other questions before we move on?
Let's see. Number 2 we can skip. Number 3. Okay, so last time you talked about turning off the email autoresponders. Did you also want us to turn off the display report immediately?
Okay, well, that's a choice. So what Andy is referring to is when prospects go to your landing page, if it's a free report, when they enter the information in, they can see the report right away. We can have it set up that way, or we can have it set up that we're going to email or mail the information out. And I'm going to give you another option as well, Andy. You could do both. You could let the prospect immediately see the special report and also email or mail the information out.
Okay.
See, the problem with just letting them see it is what is hanging around their house now? Nothing, right? They read the report, and then they close the page and they go away. Why I like mailing out the physical report is now we have something that actually will get delivered, where email, we don't know if they're going to see the email. A lot of emails don't get delivered. And if it's an email, they could click on it, look at it, and it doesn't have much shelf life either. If it's a special report with a cover letter, with your picture, your letterhead, a couple of your business cards, maybe a magnetic business card, that has shelf life. And since so many of the prospects we're speaking to are not ready to buy or sell today, but maybe a couple months down the road, I want something that has shelf life, something that's going to hang around their house. So that's the reason why I always would mail the information out.
Okay.
Now, I get that a lot of you, you don't have assistants, right? So it was easy for me. You might say, well, Craig, it was easy for you because, you're saying you mailed it out, but Craig, you really didn't mail it out. What I said is, Cindy, mail that out. So I had an assistant that would do it for me. So I get it if you're starting with this and you're kind of overwhelmed, you don't have an assistant. Well, maybe, you just want to give them full access. And that's why Success Website did that. Because a lot of our new members said, well, I don't have the time or the money to be mailing all these reports out. So, okay, we'll give everyone access as soon as they enter the information. However, you could always email it after the fact. You can mail it. You can shut this off so they don't get access, and the only way they get the information is by you either emailing it or mailing it to them.
Right. So what would your follow-up script be if you gave them immediate access?
Well, we just change it ever so slightly. Hi, Andy. Craig Proctor here from ABC Realty. Just wanted to let you know that I received your information, and you were given access to the Costly Home Seller Mistake Report, and I just wondered if you folks were planning on making a move in the next 3 to 6 months.
Oh, okay.
Right? So if I emailed it, I would say, hi Andy, Craig Proctor here from ABC Realty. Just wanted to let you know I received your request for the information. Fill in the blank, distress sale list, special report of whatever, and I've emailed that information out to you, and I wondered if you folks were planning on making a move in the next 3 to 6 months. If you mailed it, well, you just, hi Andy, Craig Proctor here with ABC Realty. Just wanted to let you know I received your request for the whatever, and I've mailed the information out to you. Are you folks planning on making a move in the next 3 to 6 months? So we're just going to massage that intro a little bit based on whether they saw it right away, whether you emailed it, whether you're mailing it. It really doesn't make a difference. I mean, that's really not why we're calling them. We all know that, right? We're not really calling them because we, want to verify that they saw the information or that we're sending the information. That's simply the excuse we're giving, the reason we're giving them as to why we're calling them. I mean, we immediately segue into the probing questions because that's really why we're calling them, to ask them these probing questions to determine their motivation and timing. And once we determine their motivation and timing, depending on how they answer the questions, we're going to slot the prospects into one of 3 categories. They either represent now business, future business, or no business at all.
Okay.
All right, we better move on, Andy. I hope that was helpful.
Well, Andy, real quick before we let you go, Emil wants to know from you, you got 79 clicks. How long did you run this ad before you started seeing any type of result?
Oh, let me check that really quick.
And while she's checking, Craig, we have a few members pique their interest on the turning off the autoresponders. How do they go?
Yeah, I see Kenneth is asking, okay, so how do we do this? Okay, you go into your control panel and you can switch it off there. The people at Success website can show you how to do it if you can't figure it out. Just call their 800 number, or you can email them and they can give you some instructions. But it's in your control panel. You can either switch it on or switch it off. All right, Ellen is saying, well, Andy's other questions are pretty good too. Well, they are, but we kind of got to move on to some other people here. Is there one more? Let's let Andy pick one more burning question here. Of all the questions you've got here, because we do need to look at everyone else's ads as well. I would like to have the whole call about Andy, but we probably should look at some other members. But pick one more, because Ellen thinks you've got some other good questions here.
Okay, on that ad, I think I ran it like 2 weeks, because it was during the first when James came to see us. It was in between then and when the seminar is when I ran it.
Okay. Cool. All right. Anything else in there that you need clarification on?
Number 4, just really quick, briefly. So I had this guy do a submission form for distressed properties. His email looked a little weird, and so I decided to Google his phone number and his email address and whatnot. Come to find out, this guy is a self-proclaimed investor, and I found a couple Facebook pages. Anyway, in one of the Facebook pages, he was saying how he could give people access to distressed properties with no agents involved, and I'm like, wow, really? So here he is, trying to get my list. So
yeah, you're going to get that, and you're also going to have you'll also have some of your competitors requesting your information, or they're going to have their spouse or a family member or a friend request the information. People are going to be curious, and as you start to become more successful using this approach, of course, your competitors will become more curious. What's Andy doing? How's Andy selling 100 homes a year? What happened? She was just like me last year, and now her business is really taking off. What's her secret? So yeah, you're going to get that.
Okay. Well, so when I talked to Success website, they had just recommended that they could put a disclaimer there that says that we reserve the right to verify information provided before giving them access to the site. And I said, well, let me talk to Craig and see what he says about that before we do anything. So I just wanted to kind of.
It's your choice. Remember, it's your list. You can decide who you're going to respond to and who you're not going to respond to.
Oh, I thought we had to. I mean,
well, look, if I'm going to say if it was one of my competitors that was requesting the information, I'm not going to send it.
Okay.
But the question, just to be clear, if I don't have a reason not to send it, if it's a prospect, even if it's a prospect that says I follow up with them and they said, yeah, I would never use you. My uncle's a realtor. I'd still send it out. But if it's it's a competitor trying to steal your list, then no, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. Oh, ad number 2 is also mine, and that is the newspaper did the pretty little graphics there, so I just submitted that to see what.
All right. Well, did it work?
It hasn't started yet. It's supposed to start. Well, we're in October. This is a monthly?
Your domain name really doesn't stand out there at all.
No.
Well, look at your 800 number is massive. It's huge. And Temecula Valley househunters.com, like you could have bolded that.
Okay.
Right? Give it like equal billing, like the 800 number.
Okay.
But let's see how it goes. Anyway, Andy, we better move on to the other ads here. Thank you for contributing today. Let's go on to ad number 3, and this is from Ellen, correct?
This is from Ellen. And right before we move on, I want to address something really quick. I'm getting a couple members saying they're not seeing the full ad or they can't see their screen. What you need to do is at the top left-hand side of your webinar screen, you can zoom in or you can make the screen fit your personal device's screen. So I can make the screen bigger, but it may not help you. So look at the top left-hand side of your little box where the screen is, and you can zoom in, you can make it 100 times bigger, 200 times bigger, so that should fix some of the members' problems who are having trouble seeing.
Okay, what color is that button? Because I'm getting people that don't understand that. They're saying, well, can you guys make it bigger? But what Andrea is saying is all of you can make it bigger or smaller or adjust it to whatever size you would like to have it.
That's right. And it's a drop down, and I'm not sure it's gray, but it's going to be. I don't see what y'all see, so I'm trying to think of what you're looking at. So there's going to be a box in the middle of your computer screen or your device screen that's not attached to your control panel. So at the top left-hand side, it's a little drop-down, and it may say zoom or screen size, but you just click on it with your mouse, and it's going to drop down and give you various options to fit the picture to your device.
Okay, so Ernest says there's a computer monitor icon there. And Julio says it says zoom. Susan says it says zoom.
Yeah, so it looks like depending on how you're using it, it's either going to say zoom or it's going to be a picture of an icon of a screen. But it looks like for most everybody it says zoom. So you just click on that, and then you can kind of fit to your liking.
Okay, cool.
So ad number 3, this is from Ellen. Unfortunately, she's been wanting us to look at this for a couple weeks now, and we're finally getting to it. She just wants a little critique on a couple of these are her signature. The others are a business card. She just wants to know what you think of her logos, her graphics, and such like that.
Well, I think they're beautiful. Let's see if we can get Ellen connected. Ellen, of course, is in the DC area. Now, can everyone see that? See, we've got the beautiful cherry blossoms there. So let's see if we can get Ellen connected. Ellen, if you're on the phone or you have your computer mic.
You're live and open. Go ahead.
Good morning, Ellen.
Good morning, Craig. Can you hear me?
Perfectly. How are you doing this morning?
Very good, thank you, sir. We're getting a little wet here, but no hurricane yet.
Yes, you want to stay dry this weekend. Well, hopefully it'll miss. So tell us what you've been working on here, Ellen.
Well, I want to tell you a couple of things. One is that I am having a graphic designer in the Philippines or in Indonesia do this for me for $13 an hour.
Okay.
Because otherwise it would have gotten very costly. I'm trying to do a business card that shows a USP. I will do a couple of different ones. We're working with him on typeface. And I really wanted to get your opinion. The big thing in that ad number 3 is what I call a flyer block, and we would be doing flyers, you know, for sellers or buyers as advertising pieces that we would put in an envelope along with the report that they request to send out. So that would be the heading of the flyer. We're trying to get a good thing there. And we're trying different business card formats, and we really would love to get your take on it before we finalize it and send it to a printer. And then ad number 4, it seemed that in one of the brochures that you have that there was a nice spot for our our contact information, and we tried to make it colorful so that it would stand out. We wanted your input on that. We've been really working on this.
Yeah, they look beautiful. The only thing that is missing that I can see is a call to action. So you've got my attention with the USPs. I see you've got one USP catering to sellers, your home sold guaranteed or will buy it. And then for buyers, you've got the $5,000 cash guarantee. So we want to tell prospects what to do. Now that you have the prospect's attention, you want to tell the prospect exactly what you want them to do. So here's your choices. You could say, you know, call me, you know, the real estate agent, and here's my direct number. And I do believe that should be one of the choices, but we also probably want to have a non-threatening way for prospects that aren't quite ready to speak to a real estate agent, giving them the ability to raise their hands as well. So Andrew, if you could take us over to the USP ad generator, you'll see in the template, Ellen, for the USPs, that what we like to see is we like to offer a free report on how that particular program could benefit the prospect, and then giving them a non-threatening way to get that information by going to a website or a landing page, but also still giving them the option to call you directly. So you can see here on this template, we've got, you know, basically the same type of headline: your home sold in 120 days or we'll buy it. Then it says no gimmicks. For information on my exclusive guaranteed sale program, order a free report by visiting. So they can go to the domain name, get a report on how it works without talking to a realtor, or they could call the recorded message, or they could call me directly. Now, of course, the best prospects will be the ones that call us directly, but I don't want to sacrifice all of the other prospects that, you know, are going to be making a move but are not quite ready to contact a real estate agent yet.
Are you saying to try and fit all of this stuff onto a business card?
Well, that's the challenge. So, you know, I would try to fit as much as you can without making it as small. Like, I mean, really, this could be a business card, what we see right here.
Right.
We could make that, like right there, is actually the same size as a business card.
True.
Now, Andrew, if you could go over for buyers, and you could click on the $5,000 cash savings. That's Ellen's offer for buyers. This could be on the flip side of the business card. So right there could be a business card, right? It's got a place for your picture, your name, your company name, your logo, if you wish.
Are you saying that we're better off if we don't bother being pretty and just?
That's what I'm saying. Yep.
Yep. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. So here's what happens. When we have graphic designers work on our materials, the graphic designer, their main interest is making the marketing pieces really pretty. Now, whenever I was seduced by that, I usually sacrificed response. So we have to ask ourselves, you know, what's most important to us? I mean, it's great if we can do both, right? Make it highly effective and pretty, but if I've got to pick, I'm going to go with effective.
Got it.
All right, Ellen, so there's some good templates for you to model after. Thank you for contributing, and I really like how you're making use of the space on the special report. That's definitely what all you folks want to do, is once you generate the lead, everything should be branded from that point forward. So even though we might be running an editorial ad on how to stop paying rent and own your own home, and the buyers, prospects don't even know they're contacting a real estate agent, once we have the lead, everything from that point forward will definitely be branded. It'll be about, you know, your letterhead, your USP. We're not hiding our identity after we get them to raise their hand. It's all about not only who we are, but why should they choose to do business with us versus everybody else. All right, thank you, Ellen. Let's move on to ad number 5. And okay, this is from Sarah Roy. She's in the Toronto area. And Andrea, we were talking about Sarah's submissions here before we got started, and maybe you can talk a little bit about how you've reworked some of this.
Yes, Sarah has a couple of ads here. First, the postcard of the direct mailer. I actually redid her ad this morning, and one thing I noticed was that the guarantee, even though it's there, it doesn't stand out as much as her name at the very top. So give me 1 second, and I'm going to open this up so we can do a side-by-side.
Okay.
One thing I did while I'm opening it up is even though Sarah is a beautiful woman, I've made her picture just a little smaller. So hold on just 1 second. Oh.
This is a postcard, is it, or a business card?
I thought it was a postcard. It could be a business card. Sarah, if you're on the call, type in the chat. But now that I'm looking at it, it might be a business card.
Okay, so Sarah says, Andrea, this is
It's
a business card.
Well, so would that change how I redid the ad that you see?
Well, look, what I like about your rework on the right-hand side is your rework, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so here's the general rule in marketing and advertising: is our headline is really the ad for the ad. So what they teach us is the benefit should go in the headline. So on the original version, Sarah, we've got your name as the headline. You know, and that's, you know, not to say that this wouldn't work, but what we've trained Andrea's eye to catch and work on is we should have our biggest benefit in the headline. Okay, so the big benefit is your guaranteed sale program. So that's what Andrea's done. She's taken Sarah Roy and that space right up there at the top of the business card or the top of any marketing piece really should be your biggest benefit. So that's how Andrea's reworked this. You know, let's go forward with our best foot forward, and at the top of the marketing piece, we always want to have our benefit in the headline. Okay, and then of course, you know, we've got your picture next to it. I mean, if we take a look at the template, if you can go back to the USP ad generator template, what Andrea is suggesting is really the format that we just looked at a second ago with Ellen. It's that same format. So this is why I've created the USP ad generator. Is before we had this ad generator set up, nobody really got this right. So Andrea and I were talking about, well, that's obviously our fault. If nobody gets it right, then we need to make sure that we make it easier for people to get it right. So if we take a look at what Andrea has created here, the ad that she recreated right there, you can see it follows that same formula. Okay, so you know that's not a massive change. If we can go back to Sarah's original. Okay, now pull up your rework on that again, Andrea. Let's see what other changes Andrea added to this. Okay, so Sarah really didn't have a non-threatening way for prospects to get information. So that was the same mistake that Ellen was making with her business card. Ellen had one response mechanism, right? Call me. But there was no real reason to call. There was no like call to action. So you can see to the right, Sarah, that Andrea's added a call to action. She's saying, for more information on my exclusive guaranteed sale program, order a free report by visiting. So the prospect now, they can still call you, right? They have your phone number, but they also, if they're not ready to speak to a real estate agent, can go to your domain name or they can call your free recorded message. Now, will the best prospects pick up the phone and call you? Yeah. But we don't want to sacrifice all of the prospects that receive your cards or look at your marketing that aren't quite ready to talk to you yet. We want to give them a non-threatening way to raise their hand. So that's why we've got this template set up the way it is. And Sarah says, thank you. I'm going to switch some things around and make room to add the no gimmicks. So Sarah, just follow the template on the ad clinic, or sorry, on the ad generator. If you follow that template, you know, you'll have it exactly right. So that's for everybody too. When you're creating your USP ads, or any of your ads, your classifieds, your editorials, don't forget to take advantage of the ad generator. I mean, the ad generator is really your template as to how we'd like all of your marketing to look. All you have to do is copy that. Now, Ellen says there's no phone number on Andrea's rework. I did notice that. So at the bottom, there should be the phone number. See where it says Sarah sells or pays you. And then the hotline number really should be a little bit bigger if we take a look at the template. And then Ellen's point is below that should be Sarah's direct number. It is there, it's under her picture, but yeah, you're right, Ellen, the template has the direct phone number underneath the hotline number.
And now that I realize this is a business card, I wouldn't have made some of the changes I did, but you could always use my remake for a direct mail piece.
Yeah, so let us know when you're submitting things. Sometimes it's not clear whether we're talking about a postcard or a business card. If you folks could let us know how you're using the marketing piece, sometimes that's helpful to us. Let's look at our next ad, please.
Okay, this is also Sarah's. You and I were speaking of this. Let's see, I believe this had 2 leads. And one of the things I found was in my research, for this type of marketing, for the find out the true value of your Milton home, 2 to 4 leads is average for this specific marketing. What I also found was if you want more of a lead, do the homes in your area, what are homes in your area worth? We find that gets more leads than this specific marketing.
Okay, well, I mean, that's the feedback we have from some of the Toronto area agents. Could you show an example of what you're talking about, Andrea? Do you have a copy of Alex Malaya's ad?
I do.
He's with Keller Williams here in Newmarket. So, Sarah, do you understand what Andrea is saying? She's saying that the online home evaluation and the area home sales report, I mean, really, we're kind of offering the same information to seller prospects, right? Do you want an evaluation, or would you like to know recent home sales and current listings? So here's an ad that Alex with KW here in Newmarket's been running. So he's just reporting in his experience that this offer, the area home sales report, or find out what homes in your neighborhood are selling for him, it outpulled the online home evaluation. Now, I've heard the opposite from other members, but this just gives you something else to test, Sarah, because that's the most important thing, right? You want to figure out, well, what works the best for Sarah. Now, when we go to Sarah's landing page, let's have a look at the landing page and make sure that looks okay.
Okay, give me
make sure there's no
one
problems
moment.
there. So haltonrealestateinfo.com.
And then just to make sure I'm going to the right place, it's the home evaluation.
Okay, that doesn't look too bad to me. Find out the true value of your Milton home, free, quick online home evaluation. Okay, I don't see any problems with the landing page. It looks good. Now, I think Sarah's point is I only generated 2 leads, and Andrea, your point was, well, that's kind of average.
Yes, and
right?
doing a little bit of research on the ad clinics, I'm finding that the true value is getting about 2 to 4 leads on average for most of our members.
Well, look, Alex is with us. He says, I'm here. Alex, let's open up your phone line here, and let's talk to you a little bit about Facebook, because maybe you could share with Sarah exactly what you're doing up here in Newmarket and what a typical response is for you.
You're live, Alex.
Hi, Greg.
Good morning. How are things at Keller Williams in Newmarket this morning?
Very good, thanks. Okay, as far as the home evaluation ad, what I usually do, and I mentioned this before, is I usually run a short-term lifetime budget for those, mainly like on Sunday nights and Tuesday nights. However, not to say that you can't run it constantly throughout the day and give it, a $5, $10, $20 a day budget. And it all depends. Like, I mean, it's you're not going to get the same response every single week. I'm going to go with what Andrea says. Like, on average, when I first started running it, I would get anywhere from 5 to 10. Now, of course, that was before. Now I'm finding it's a little bit less, but needless to say, I find that the short-term lifetime budget, say $50 or $60 on a Sunday night, seem to work the best.
And just to interject, this we have a couple of questions. This was $75 she spent for the 2 leads.
Okay, was that a short-term lifetime budget?
That I don't know yet. Sarah, if you could just type in. Over 5 days.
Okay, over the course. See, I would sometimes put $75 just on Tuesday night, like from between 5 and 11 p.m. So that ad would show up like a lot constantly and get a lot of clicks.
Anyway, Sarah, Alex is a great guy that you should get to know since he's right here in the area, and he's had great success with Facebook. Okay, Alex, anything else you want to add while we have you with us as to what's working best for you right now?
We actually have, Alex, I'm going to interrupt. You submitted a couple of ads. I can run, those are at the end, but since we have you on the line, I'll go ahead and pull those up real quick.
Yeah, let's do it.
Actually, the reason, are you still there?
Yep.
Okay, I actually put up these 2 ads because, to be honest with you, the Facebook ad there, I usually do what's called a page post engagement, which is the one that we just saw from Sarah. But I've just started to use this, which is a website click, so that the entire ad is clickable. It doesn't seem to be pulling as well for me, and I wanted to get your feedback on that, Craig, as far as the Facebook one first, I guess. Okay,
well, it's a different headline, right?
Mm-hmm.
Little different offer.
It's a move up.
Okay,
offer.
So let me ask you this: of all your Facebook ads,
mm-hmm.
which offers work the best? Offers to sellers or offers to buyers?
The seller ad, find out what homes in your neighborhood are selling for, and the must sell. I find that those 2 words are golden. Must sell. The must sell ad seems to pull the most amount of leads. So those 2 campaigns.
Okay, so here's what I'd recommend that you do differently.
Okay.
Your headline is make a move to a larger home. Mm-hmm. Free list of the 10 best buys in new market between 600 and 1 million. So here's what I would do instead. Okay. I would test running a headline with the names of different areas. So it might say New Market Stonehaven Estates. Mm-hmm. Free list of all available properties in Stonehaven with pictures. Free list between whatever, 1 million and $1.5 million.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you could do the same for Glenway Estates. You could pick off whatever areas in town you want and I understand what you're doing here. I hope everyone else gets this. Mm-hmm. What Alex wants is he wants 3 transactions, right? At least 2 transactions. Yes. In a perfect world, he has a buyer that wants to buy $1 million home in Stonehaven. He sells him one of his listings and picks up the backup. At a minimum, you're getting 2 transactions because you're going to get a move-up buyer that's going to buy a listing, not necessarily yours, and you're going to get the backup property.
Yes, correct.
Now, as you know, I did the exact same thing way back in the day. I did it with the newspaper, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's when I ran those little ads. You remember being in real estate in that town.
Yeah.
I would run an ad that said Glenway Estates, free list of golf course homes with pictures.
Yes.
Well, Facebook is just online classified, right? That's all. It's just people are looking at a different spot, but it's the same strategy. And so I really like this strategy. Okay. Of you going after 2 transactions, going after these move-up buyers. And what I like about this is I know you want to get a lot of listings, right? Like that's something you're working on, is building up your listing inventory. So you're not just getting a buyer, you're also going to build up your listings. And then the things that we're teaching you now is how, when you get a listing, how can you get 8 or 10 or 15 other transactions from that listing?
To leverage, yep.
Leverage the listing to get you another 5 or 10 transactions. Doing it well, you can do that. So that's the big game changer for you, is we want you to be a big lister here in Newmarket. And
yes.
This is a good strategy to do it. I'm not crazy about the headline. Obviously, people aren't getting it. What they do, though, they do understand these communities. Everybody in Newmarket knows where Stonehaven is.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
All right, good stuff, Alex. Thanks for being with us today. We should look at the next ad.
Okay, hold on just 1 second. Let me scroll back up. And I did get even from Alex stating that the ads weren't centered. Craig, are you seeing all the ads normally, or does it look different on your end today?
Looks normal to me.
It's normal? Okay, just wanted to make sure. All right, this next ad submission or marketing submission is a bus bench. And ad number 9, I also did a redo of that. It's not very clear. It was hard for me to get it perfect on my generic paint program, but you can tell what I've done.
Okay, well, look, we've got, this is Creative Outdoor Advertising. Mike, this is exactly who I used, in Newmarket. They didn't have these in Aurora, but in Newmarket I had bus benches all over the place. And I'm not sure who your, well, I guess your contact is right there, Miss Natalina Barrett. Probably my contact doesn't even work there anymore, but anyway. The only thing we're missing here is exactly what we've been talking about with Ellen and with Sarah, is the call to action is not exactly the way we have it on the ad generator. Now, I know what you're going to think is, well, Craig, this is a bus bench. Come on, people are driving by this at 40 miles an hour. Are they really going to see, everything that we've got in a print ad? Maybe not. But I'd still probably have it there. I'd have it there in small type. I guess I look at this and I say, your home sold, guaranteed, or I'll buy it. Now, we look at this and we say, well, okay, prospects will know, right? If they're interested, they should call Mike. But if they're not ready to call Mike, or they're skeptical, they think it's, they think it's a gimmick, they think it's, too good to be true, we're not giving the prospect that's not ready to speak to Mike, or the skeptical prospect, a non-threatening way to get some more information. So, I would try to squeeze that in, even if it has to be small. Let's go to our next ad, please.
Okay, our next ad, I'm going to try to flip it around. It's the 10 best home buys, and they received 0 results. So just wanted some of your thoughts on what could be done differently.
All right, well, you're flipping it around. John Brackett says, I've been unable to upload the ads. Error message when I upload. There's an error message when he tries to upload the ads. Do I need to convert to another file format?
The suggestion I have is that you cannot upload PDFs. And I know that's a lot of the formats that our members use. It has to be a JPEG or a PNG file. That's the only way to upload ads to the member site. If all you have is a PDF and you can't figure out how to change it, you can just email me, Andrea@craigproctor.com, and I can upload it for you.
So helpful, aren't you, Andrea? Andrea is very helpful.
I try. I'm still trying to turn it around. I was talking and I couldn't.
You know what? Don't worry about it. We'll just turn our heads. Everybody can see that, right? Everyone turn their head to the left. Okay, so 10 best buys. This is part of, I don't know, I guess it's just a display ad. I would rather these run in the classified section. There it is. Classified ads should really run in the classified section. Editorial ads should run in the editorial section. Now, have I ever run these ads in a real estate section? I have. Really, just like, what was the response? If it worked, then, we keep doing it. But I would test this ad in other places as well if it didn't work before you write off the ad itself. If something doesn't work, it could be a number of things, right? If you don't get a response, it could be the ad. Could be nothing wrong with the ad. It could be the location. It could be where you're running the ad. It could be the landing page you're taking them to, or the hotline script. So it's important that we do these autopsies. The first question would be, how many prospects either visited your domain name, which we can barely read there, or called the 800 number. Do we know whose ad this is?
I do. Sandy Casella Cruz, I believe.
My good friend Sandy in Mississauga. Sandy, you with us today? Sandy, you didn't know, but we do take attendance on these calls.
And I don't see
okay,
that.
Well, Sandy is a excellent member, and she's doing very well. So that would be the question: is, hey, did it work? It wouldn't be the location I would pick first, but you know, if it works, you keep doing it. But opportunity cost, right? Instead of running it here, what if I run it in other places and I can get it to work better? And then, you know, so really the game we play here is we test the different messages in a whole bunch of different places, and we stick with the messages and media or locations that work the best. Let's move on to ad number next.
Okay, this is an editorial.
Okay, looks pretty good. I mean, we prefer these editorials to be at the top half of the page, not the bottom. We also prefer the editorials not to be surrounded by other ads. If the editorial is surrounded by ads, it sometimes can look like an ad. But our member's done a pretty good job here. I like the fact that there's no border around it. We can see, you know, it says Clovis. The headline is centered, and it's hard to say if that's the way they run the headlines through this newspaper, but if the headlines are centered, I guess, yeah.
One thing I wanted to notice, yeah, and I would have bolded the headline to match the same type as Clovis Fest.
Yeah, what we want to do with headlines is we want to look at the headlines in the publication and kind of mimic it. So sometimes the headlines are justified left, sometimes they're centered, they're never justified right. We want the column width to match the column width, and it does. The only thing I notice here is the font size is a little smaller than the font size in the publication, just a little bit. I mean, we're pretty picky here, right? But we're just saying, you know, if it looks perfectly like editorial, makes sense, you'll get a better response. Let's go to number next. Add number next, please.
Okay, from Vic.
All right, this is our good buddy Vic Markarian, and he's in Glendale. Now, Vic, we got the same deal going here. You got a headline, buy this home and I'll buy yours. Well, my first question is buy what home? I guess it's buy 618 North Howard Street. Well, here's the problem. What if I don't like that house? What if I don't like that house? So what happens is I chuck the flyer in the garbage can. So wouldn't it be better to have a headline that has wider appeal? How about move up to any one of my listings and I'll buy your home for cash? Or how about your home sold in X amount of time or I'll buy it? Okay, it's a more universal headline. So that's what I don't like about this. It has very narrow appeal. Buy this home and I'll buy yours. Then we've got the call to action down below. You see, that's not how I do it. I have everything together. If you go to the ad generator, I have the big benefit and the call to action, like what to do and why to do it all together. So Vic's not doing that. He says, buy this home and I'll buy yours. So if I look at the picture, 6-8, you know, what home? I'm thinking, oh, this home, I don't like that home.
And just for a little clarification, Vic's saying this is a flyer in a sign box.
Okay, so let's connect Vic.
Okay.
Vic, if you are able to talk to us, let's do that.
Okay, hold on one second. I'll have his mic open.
Okay.
Go ahead, Vic.
Yeah, hi. Good morning.
Hey, Vic. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I just copied this one of the plat that we're using it, and I wanted to copy it. So I made this is a new flyer I just tested once, and I wanted to get your opinion, you know?
Yeah, to me, you're trying to sell the house on the flyer more than making a universal offer that would appeal to the masses. So I'm going to ask Andrea to go to the ad generator and to click on the USP ad that says move up to, you know, any one of my listings and I'll buy your home for cash. And I think that would be a more appropriate headline for this. We want sellers. Sorry, Andrea.
No, that's okay. I was confused.
You were just checking?
I was testing you.
Just testing me, okay. So we click on sellers.
And
it's move up and I buy for cash.
Okay.
Second from the bottom. Right, second from the bottom, that's it. Okay, so Vic, this would be better. Move up to any one of my listings and I'll buy your home for cash. Now, if I ran this with properties, I would make sure that I ran it with a whole bunch of listings.
Yes.
In fact,
if I don't have any listings, most of my listings selling super fast, you know.
Okay. So what could we do? Could you borrow other listings, other agents' listings?
Okay.
Could you have pictures of properties you've sold and just put sold on them?
Okay.
Could you not even have it? What about having no listings at all if it just ran like this?
Okay.
Andrea, if you go to the home page of the coaching site, don't we have somewhere there pictures of that exact ad running? I don't know. I couldn't begin to tell you where it is, but it's somewhere on the site. We've got actual ads with me running that headline. Are you able to? I know.
Yeah, I would have to do a little bit of looking to find that exact ad.
Okay.
I would also suggest.
I used to know where it was on the old site, but anyway, if you play around there,
testimonials would look good on that type of ad too.
Yep, you could use testimonials, but if you look around, you're going to see examples of my actual USP ads with my properties. But I think that's a pretty limiting offer you're making right now. Move up to this home. Because I look at the house. If I don't like the house, I don't call you. And that's the mistake that most agents.
Sure what you said.
That's the mistake that most agents make, is they're trying to promote a listing. They're trying to sell what they have versus calling out to who they most want to attract.
Okay. So because I'm trying to use a flyer that attracts other sellers around the neighborhood, you know.
Well, then have a bunch of solds and testimonials. So take that headline, take all your solds in that neighborhood, and a couple testimonials from some sellers. Use that.
And how the seller of that listing will feel if I have a flyer of promoting myself the most, you know, and the box and the sign.
Well, if you're going to have a picture of their house on too, so they should be happy. Andrea, download the Guaranteed Sale Manual. You'll see some examples in there.
That's exactly what I'm working on.
Okay. Well, Vic, you said on one hand you don't have any listings, so you wouldn't offend the seller if you don't have any sellers in that area. If you have sellers, well, their home would be on that marketing piece. Right? So if I'm your seller, I'm not going to complain because there's a picture of my house there. If you scroll down, Andrea, okay, so here's a double page ad, okay. All right, so here, Craig Proctor will, can you put, no, okay, scroll, so let's keep going here and see if we can find one all on one page. Okay, so when you list with Craig, your home will sell, he's willing to buy it himself. Any other examples? I'm looking for the one that says move up to any one of these listings and Craig will buy your home for cash.
Oh, here we go. I found it. Let me see if I can make it smaller.
So look, see the testimonials? Okay, move up to any one of my listings and I'll buy your home for cash. Okay, now show a couple of the other examples. Every agent will promise to sell your home. Craig guarantees it. And then show Vic the one with testimonials.
Okay, we've got a trade
because
up.
the biggest thing working, trade up to any, that's the left side, trade up to any one of, it says my listings and I'll buy your home for cash. So you have to use your imagination. It's a double page spread. That's the left page. Let's have a look at the right hand side of the page. Okay, now look at, I'm offering a free report reveals exactly how my unique and proven trade up program can benefit you. So how can I get this? I can call into the 800 number, right? I can, or you can call Craig directly, and for whatever reason I don't have a domain on this, so that's not right. But anyway, that's the idea. Now show the testimonials there for a second.
By the pictures,
right
you
there.
can tell these
Okay.
are kind of older,
Yeah.
ads. Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, it's 2006. You can see it. But think about this. I was doing this very successfully 10 years ago. Okay. I was doing this 20 years ago. Okay. So look at the first testimonial. These are the kind of testimonials you guys want. Eventually, when you get people that take advantage of the guaranteed sale program, you want to get testimonials. Now, it doesn't mean I actually bought their home, but they think so, right? Because I gave them a guarantee. But I didn't end up buying it because an outside buyer came in and made an offer superior to my guarantee. But still, they say, Craig actually bought someone else's house so they could buy ours. I gave a guarantee to a buyer. The buyer was able to move up and make a firm offer on their property, and I never ended up buying that house. It sold within the 120 days. To the right of it, that testimonial, next testimonial says, because Craig offered to buy our home, we could buy another. I gave them a guarantee. They were now able to make a firm offer on another home. I never ended up buying their home. I offered to buy their home. Does everyone see the difference? And the third testimonial, furthest to the right, at first we thought it was a gimmick, but through Craig's program, we got the house of our dreams. I didn't buy anybody's house here. Did I give a guarantee? Yes. But within the 120 days, an offer, as it should and always does, an outside offer from an outside buyer came in at a price higher to my guarantee. I didn't buy anybody's home, but I made a guarantee that allowed all of these people to benefit. All right, let's move on, and we better finish up here. We're at the top of the hour.
Okay, hold on one second.
How many more ads do we have to look at?
We have about 5 or 6 more ads to look at today. We may not get to them all.
Okay, we better make an effort. Okay, so these are editorial ads that are not running on an editorial page. Okay, the USP at the top is fine. It doesn't mimic, what we've got in the USP ad generator, but Joey and Sandy have the right idea. I'm not going to harp on how it should look because we've done that pretty much the entire webinar here, but you all know by now you should be looking at the USP ad generator and mimicking that. You see the call to action is, there's a disconnect. It's there, but it's below that red bar with Joey and Sandy's name and the call for more information. Can everybody see that? We want all the information together. The confused mind does nothing. So we got this killer headline, your home sold guaranteed or we'll buy it, no gimmicks. And then we've got this red bar, which serves as like a stop sign to the prospect's eyes. And then below it, we're telling prospects what it is we want them to do. So, Joey and Sandy, they get it. They got the right idea. It's just not exactly the way we've got it laid out. And it just means it won't work as well. Okay, so then we've got editorial ads. They shouldn't be running, Joey and Sandy, we don't want those editorial ads running there at all. We're not fooling anybody. It doesn't look like news, okay? It looks like an ad from Joey and Sandy. So therefore, it's not going to work as well. So I'll repeat this again. Editorial needs to go in the editorial section. Classified ads need to go in the classified section. Let's go to our next ad, please. Facebook, ad 14. TorranceRealEstateInfo.com. Renters free report reveals how easy it is to buy your own home. We've got a little map. Don't pay another cent in rent. And do we have any information on this ad?
I have no information on this ad.
Okay, well, like it looks okay to me. we don't know where. Okay, let's go to the landing page.
And I think Kevin Scott said I'm here, so
okay.
I'm going to assume that it's Kevin's.
Okay, now look at, you've heard James say that we prefer, for pure lead generation, the ads that offer a free list of properties over a free report. So probably what would work better, and we'll hear from Kevin here in a second, is if this ad said, Torrance first-time buyers, why rent when you can own? Free list of first-time buyer homes in Torrance between this price range and that price. Free list with pictures. So Kevin, are you with us?
I am. Hello.
Hey, I'm good. How did this ad perform?
It's 58 clicks. I put it on a 7-day or actually a 5-day cycle for $20 lifetime budget. I got 58 website clicks, 3,015 views, but 1 click on my website, or 1 conversion on the website.
Okay, so here's the thing that we want to focus on with Facebook. By the way, if you've ever had anyone help you with Facebook advertising, I hired a company once, and that's what they want to like. They were doing Facebook promotion for Craig Proctor seminars and Craig Proctor Productions, and all of these Facebook marketers. That's what they want to talk about. They want to talk about how many impressions and views and clicks. Well, look, we're not interested in any of that. The most important thing to us is how many leads did I generate?
1.
Right. So that's not good. But if you ever talk to anybody that's involved with Facebook marketing, they try to bamboozle us with all this other stuff. I don't care about views, impressions, clicks. All I care about is, well, the ad cost me whatever, $50, $75, and how much money did it make? How many leads did I generate that I was able to convert? So let's go to your landing page here, Kevin, and let's have a look at the landing page, because it sounds like you had, sorry, how many clicks on the ad?
58 clicks, 1 website conversion.
And what's the landing page?
It's right there, torrancerealestateinfo.com.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, slash stop renting.
I didn't
So I have to go into the stop renting, stop_renting page.
Give me just 1 second.
Okay. Alexandra says, yes, they do. It's funny, isn't it, Alexandra, how these Facebook marketers, and I know that many of you have been to these seminars. They see real estate agents as, they see us as easy pickings, right? Because they know that most of us were not that tech savvy. So that's how they bamboozle us, right? The only thing we should be concerned about is, okay, what did the marketing piece cost, and what did it make us? But they don't want to talk about that. They want to talk about everything else except for, did the thing make me any money? Okay, don't pay another cent in rent to your landlord before you read this free report. Okay, so you heard what I said earlier, Kevin. I think you'd do better by offering a free list of Torrance first-time buyer homes in a certain price range with pictures than a free report.
Okay.
So I'll try to rework that, offering the free list of first-time buyer homes versus the report for first-time buyers.
Okay.
All right, good stuff. Alexandra says, some of us are easy pickings. They spend so much time in all this BS. They sell how long the ad was running, what was the budget. Yeah, Alexandra, they don't. Here's the thing. Most of these companies that sell real estate agents, that sell us marketing and advertising, do you know they don't even like direct response advertising? They don't like it at all, and I'll tell you why they don't like it. Because direct response marketing is the only kind of advertising that enables you and I, the business owner, to know what the ad costs and to be able to track the results of that ad, to know the ROI, the return on investment. So direct response marketing is the only kind of marketing that holds all of these people accountable, right? This is the only kind of marketing where we have this kind of tracking, where we can actually hold their feet to the fire and say, well, hang on a minute. I gave you, the Facebook company, X amount of dollars, we spent this much money on ads on Facebook, but you didn't make me more than what I paid you and what I paid to run these ads on Facebook. See, they don't like that. Do you remember there used to be a company, I'm not sure if they're still in existence. In California, there used to be a company called Hobbs Herder. Type in if you guys remember Hobbs Herder. And I don't even know if they're still around, but they used to target real estate agents, and they would sell real estate agents glossy brochures, and I mean this stuff would be pretty. And of course, that strokes your ego, right? If you're a real estate agent, it's like, oh my God, that piece is beautiful. They've got a picture of me next to my BMW, or I like to golf. They make it lifestyle-wise, so if you like to golf, it'd be a picture of you and your golf clubs, or you and your dog. And these pieces were beautiful. Ellen says, "Yep, I had them make me a brochure. I still have them around." Yeah, Ellen, they're probably in the garage. You shove them somewhere, right? In the garage, in a closet somewhere. So, Ellen, what did you spend? Do you remember what you spent on all that beautiful stuff? Okay, a few of you are typing in, yeah, I tried that. Okay. Whoa, okay, Claudia says, yeah, I remember them all right. I paid them $10,000 2 years ago. What a waste. I still have 2,000 brochures left. Okay, Ellen got off lucky. She says, I only gave them $1,000. Now, you see, these companies, they don't like having marketing that's accountable. So just be aware that there's lots of companies out there that see us as easy prey. And I was guilty of that. You know, the first couple of years in the business, what I thought, and as I shared at the super conferences, I thought the idea behind marketing is getting your name out there. So you folks saw my ads, picture of Craig in the field and on the train tracks and in the class by himself. I really believed that's what marketing was about. And I was afraid to stop doing any of it because I thought that it might be working. And this is what they use against us, right? Is, well, you don't want to stop, doing this or that because, it might be the part that's working. It might be working. Well, now that we're using direct response marketing, there is no guesswork. There is no BS. We know exactly what's working, what's not working. And because we're all going to be smart about this now, we're going to test all the different messages in all the different places to determine what works the best and eliminate anything that doesn't get us a great return on investment. Okay, that's my sermon on that. All right, Clifton Park houses. Okay, Clifton Park, I know that's in Albany, New York. Public notice, beat other buyers to hot new listings in Clifton Park. And let's go to that domain right there. Burnt Hills houses for sale. Okay, well, we're looking at that. Victor says, Success Website is knocking it out of the park for him when it concerns online marketing. Stick with what you, Craig, offers because it does work. After all, that's what we're paying you for. Well, thanks for that. Thanks, Victor. Okay, beat out other buyers to hot new listings. No mention of Clifton Park. So the prospect says, I don't know, am I in the right spot? The ad on Facebook talked about Clifton Park. Beat out other buyers to hot new listings in Clifton Park, and I click on the Facebook ad here, and it doesn't say anything about first-time buyers in Clifton Park. Oh, I must be in the wrong place. Goodbye. Everybody get that? Let's go to ad number 16.
And on this ad, there are some notes.
Okay. 4 leads, 2 wrong numbers, 2, what does that say?
2 wrong numbers,
something.
2 haven't been able to reach yet.
Okay. Well, that's 100% of the leads. generated 4 leads, 2 were wrong numbers, and 2 numbers I haven't been able to reach. Okay, now look, you're mailing this out, right? So they have to leave you their address, even if they gave you a wrong phone number, even if they gave you a phone number you can't reach them at. For you to be able to mail the report, they had to give you their mailing address. So I'm telling you what I would do. I would go to 411.com, enter their address, right? Crisscross directory, and now I get a phone number. And guess what? It may be different than the phone number they submitted. Sneaky, right? But yes, that's what I would do, and that's what I did. And as far as the people you can't reach, you want to be persistent. Okay, call them several times a day at different times of the day. Never leave messages, by the way. You never, ever, ever leave a message unless it's the last thing you're going to do. I call that the Hail Mary. So Andrea's the prospect, and Andrea, I've called you several times a day for a couple weeks. I just can't reach you. I'm ready to give up. It's a Hail Mary. Hi, Andrea. It's Craig Proctor here with ABC Realty. A couple weeks ago, I received your request for the free special report on how to avoid mistakes when selling your home in the capital region. That's in Albany, New York as well. And I just wanted to let you know I've mailed the information out to you, and would like to speak to you. My phone number is this. You know, what's really in it for the prospect to call you back? That's the problem. Okay, so are you going to leave a message? I guess as a last resort, you leave a message. Okay, so this is being run in the Albany, New York. Looks like I don't know what section of the paper this is. It's cut off at the top, but it doesn't appear to be an editorial section. It looks like a real estate section. It's right below exit. Here we grow again. The editorial ads should be run in the editorial section. Okay, this is not an editorial section. Let's look at ad number 17, please. Kenneth is saying, hey, look, has anyone actually closed a sale from Facebook? I mean, received a commission check? I find Facebook and Google to be looky-loos, and they generate lots of activity, but no paycheck. So type in your response to that. Kenneth is a little bit skeptical. He's saying, look at, maybe Kenneth is a high D. He's saying, look at, let's cut to the chase here. I don't want to, you know, if Facebook's full of teenagers and whatever, can we make money with this thing? Well, I'm going to tell you, Kenneth, the answer is yes. But let's hear from some of our members here. Andy Ford just typed in, hey, Kenneth, I've had 2 sales from Facebook already, 1 from a group and 1 from my business page. Ernest in Tampa Bay, Florida, says Blake Corey is crushing it with Facebook.
It looks like we're getting a lot of yeses.
Yes. John just says, yeah, I just did a deal for $760,000.
One thing I know James would say is Facebook would be just one pillar of your marketing, though. If it shouldn't be your only source.
Well, look, we want to have a layered approach, and this is the interesting thing about it is as we look at these different ads in different places, we'll find that some things work better than others. You know, that's why when new members say to me, well, Craig, just tell me exactly what I should do. I wish it was that easy. You know, Kenneth, we want to make sure that you're running the Facebook and you try the different ads. But look at, you'll never hear me say, if we can't get it to work for you, you'll never hear me say, keep doing it. But I just want, I also want everyone to be aware of, we can't let our preconceived, you know, notions about things dictate what we're going to do. Okay, like for example, Kenneth, his perception is, well, look at, does anyone actually make any money with this Facebook stuff? There's some of you that would think that about print advertising. You know, a lot of you, when you start the program, say, Craig, maybe you don't understand. Nobody reads the newspaper anymore. This is 2015, Craig. You're locked in some kind of time warp. Nobody reads the newspaper. So what happens is we let our preconceived thoughts about these things dictate what we do or what we're even going to test. So everything's a test. But I can assure you we have lots of members that are not just getting impressions or visitors to their website or leads. they're actually getting commission checks from Facebook, or we wouldn't be talking about it here today. You're never going to catch me talking about things that are fluff. Okay, everything we talk about here helps our members make money. Now, does that mean everything we talk about will work equally well for all of you? No. Man, it would make my job so much easier if I could just say, okay, here's the one formula for all of you. Just go do this, this, and this, and you're all going to make $1 million. Okay, it's not that easy. We're going to give you a bunch of different ads to run. You're going to experiment in different places, and you are not going to decide what works the best. You're going to let the marketplace tell you. We don't have the right or the power to predetermine what's going to work the best for us. Only Mr. Market knows what the best approach is going to be for us. So the prudent thing to do is we throw it out to the marketplace and we let Mr. Market tell us which ads are going to be the winners and where the best places are going to be. Adele says, I finally have my first Google ad running and it was doing fine. The first 3 days, 28 clicks, 3 leads. Now I'm up to 37 clicks and no new leads. May I ask how long you think is it? Look at, here's the great thing about Adele. Adele's saying, well, how long do I got to test this if it's not working? Look at the name of this marketing, direct response. Okay, that's the beauty here. We don't have to sit around and wait and wonder if something's going to work. It either did or it didn't. The only exception to that might be if you were advertising in a monthly publication, it might have some shelf life, and you could say, well, you know, maybe I need to wait a month or two to determine whether, you know, that was a success or not. But with Google pay-per-click and with Facebook especially, you're going to know right away. You don't have to try something for weeks and weeks and weeks. In fact, I don't want you guys to keep doing things that aren't working. Right? If we keep doing the same thing, it's going to keep not working. But the opposite of that is if you keep doing the things that work, they're going to keep working. Okay, is this our last ad?
This is our last ad, yes.
Number 18, ad number 18, Facebook. Rancho, not even going to try to pronounce that. Foreclosures, distress sales, and bank-owned hot deals. Let's go to that domain name.
Okay, hold on.
Do we have any input from our member here as to what it cost, how long they ran it, how many clicks, how many leads, anything?
I have nothing in my back pocket, but if you're on the webinar, go ahead and type it in the chat box, and Craig will see it while I'm typing in ranchocucamongahomesinfo.com.
Okay. While you're doing that, Lynn Fixter is asking, hey, is anyone in the group using Craigslist, having success with Craigslist? Now, with Craigslist, of course, you can't have a live link, and that's where you're going to have to use the recorded hotline number. So anyone want to help out Lynn here? If you've tried Craigslist, good or bad, whether it worked for you or it didn't work for you?
One thing I wanted to mention as a good example of the comment you just made of if it didn't work, we wouldn't talk about it, was just a few years ago, that's all we talked about was Craigslist because it was really working. And then they made the change, and I don't know if people noticed, but we don't talk about Craigslist that much anymore because people are just not finding results. So that's a good example of, you know, once Facebook stops working.
Let's look at the response here. Okay, so I threw it out to the group here. I said, well, let me know your experience with Facebook. Okay, so Andy Ford says, no, I tried, but now it won't let you put in a hotline number. Okay, well, that's news to me. Alexandra says, I tried and it didn't work. Ernest says, no, I'm even getting flagged now with the hotline in the ad. Victor says, however, Craigslist is working, and I'm leveraging my listings. And Adele says, I've always had luck with Craigslist. Andy Ford says this, with Craigslist, do not include cartoons or graphic images, photographs of yourself or other people's links to more information elsewhere, photos with click below, contact info, or other writing search links or information about multiple property advertisements for services of any kind, including financing or loan information, advice about buying and or selling and or market conditions. So Andy, I assume you've taken that right off of the Craigslist policy board. And Andy says yes. Okay, Victor says, also Kijiji, my foreclosure ads just got a listing and a buyer. So Kijiji in Canada is like a Craigslist. So again, everything's mixed here, right? So some of you say, well, I had no luck with Craigslist at all. However, we've got Victor saying, yeah, Craigslist is working well to leverage my listings. We've got Adele saying, I've always had luck with Craigslist. But I think it's important that we share what those of you are doing who are getting successful results so you can all try it and judge for yourself. Ernest is asking, can you advertise U.S. properties on Kijiji? No, but the equivalent of Kijiji in the U.S. is eBay classified ads. eBay classified ads, in fact, owns Kijiji. So you run yours, Ernest, in the U.S. on eBay classifieds. Okay, Adele Langdon wants to know, hey, this other Adele, I'm intrigued by this, that there's another Adele here in the group. Where is the other Adele from? So Adele Reed, if you want to disclose your general location. Adele Reed says, I am in Toronto. So we've got Adele in California and we've got Adele in Toronto. So you guys probably, want to meet each other because Adele is like, not a common name. Here's our landing page. Landing page looks pretty good to me. Let's flip back and forth between the ad and the landing page. How do you pronounce that, Andrea?
Rancho Cucamonga.
It's pretty good.
Well, I only know that because of the movie Friday.
Oh. Cucamonga. Rancho Cucamonga. I did it. Okay, well, I don't know. Andrea, what do you think? This landing page looks pretty good. Seems to mimic the headline in the ad, right?
I think it looks great. Personalized.
Looks great. Okay, so it should work. Did it work? I don't know, but it should work. Looks good. Okay, so look, we've accomplished some good stuff here today, and I hope you've enjoyed the coaching program this week. Monday, you've got your opportunity to ask myself and James McDonald any questions you have about anything. It doesn't have to be about marketing. It could be about the universal callback script. It doesn't have to be about that either. It could be about hiring, recruiting. It could be trouble with your broker. It could be anything. So any questions that you have, write them down so you don't forget them. And then Monday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time, 11 a.m. on the East Coast, we're going to answer all of your questions. We're out of time here for today. I hope you folks have enjoyed today's ad or marketing clinic. And I want to thank Andrea for doing a great job here. Everyone have a wonderful weekend, and we'll talk to you on Monday. Take care, and that concludes today's webinar.